I'm glad you're so interested in building your mental might and that you're coming back to this series over and over again to learn along with me about some of the tactics we can use to think more critically and to avoid lazy thinking. What I want to talk today about is something that I am seeing quite frequently. And it's a place where you can push the pause button and get a handle on what you're dealing with before you go down the wrong path. Anytime there's a problem to solve, or anytime somebody brings you an issue, I think that it's helpful to ask the question, either inside your own head or aloud, depending on who you're working with, to ask the question, what exactly is the problem here that we're trying to solve? Because sometimes the problem we jump in and try to solve isn't the one that's going to be useful at all. It's not the real problem. It's not the underlying problem. It's not the main issue that someone's looking for help with. I'll give you a classic example. In close relationships, sometimes, for example, I like to just think aloud. I like my husband to sort of listen to me and empathize with me, let me vent a little bit. The problem I'm trying to solve is that I'm working it out as I talk. And I could use a little support, moral support. But he might misunderstand. He might think that I'm looking for the answer. So he jumps in and instead of listening and empathizing and letting me rattle on, he jumps in and he offers me a practical solution. Oftentimes it's a perfectly valid solution for that little piece that he zoned in on where he could help me. But because that's not what I was looking for, because that's not the problem I'm trying to solve, it's not what I really want from him, because of that, I have a negative reaction. I feel like he dismissed something bigger. That's just a little example. Let me think about with you some other bigger kinds of examples that happen every day, all over the place. We might, for example, within a team, we're doing some teamwork, we might jump in to contribute our part, the part that we can do best, and we might be doing that prematurely, like what's going on with my husband when he tries to solve my problem. He might be offering that solution, and you might be offering that solution too, because it's in your wheelhouse, but it might not be solving the bigger overarching problem that the team needs to get a handle on and work on first before they get to something so tactical. Or it could be in your own mind as you are struggling with a situation. You're trying to find some way to get a forward motion in a situation that's got you bogged down, but you can't. And maybe you can't because you haven't really identified yet the problem that needs to be solved. You can do all kinds of other work and never really get to the heart of the problem. So spending the time to reflect, to break the situation down, to figure out what is the problem or what are the problems, plural, that need to be resolved here. When you know what those are, you're going to be able to be much more effective solving any one or number of problems because you've put that critical thought in first. You're not letting any sort of shortcuts or lazy thinking interfere with your effectiveness. So give it a try. Step back, ask yourself, what's the problem that we're really trying to solve? And then dial in there, in the place where you have the opportunity to make the greatest impact.